are running hot. This is awesome. Okay. I didn't actually announce this one. I'm still streaming every Thursday, so we may have 100% less viewers today. Who's to know for sure? And the first thing I'm going to do is spill milk on myself. That's amazing. Okay. Yeah, no, that's a great start. I feel really good about today. We're moving well. I do feel good about today, though, because we have officially released the game. Throw that in the trash. Officially released the game. Redline Breakneck is officially on itch.io. And I published the link in the last one. Let me pull that up here. Oh, you can't see my screen yet. Let me switch that. Oh, stretch this out. There we go. Now we can see. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Get rid of this. Boom. Here it is. Redline Breakneck, officially a thing. The Retro Racer is out and running, and you can download it. I couldn't get the one that could play in the window. So you cannot play it on the browser. You have to actually download it. But I have download for Windows and Mac, which is cool. So you can play it on pretty much anything. But it was I was so close on the playable on the web browser. The ship models are too big. That was the thing that got me. I spent all that time shrinking down the ads so that my images were not so huge. And at the end of the day, it was the ship models that got me, because the ship models had too many details and stuff like that. The files were too large, and it wouldn't load into a web browser, at least not into one that itch.io would accept, which is understandable. They host about 1 billion games, so having that restriction makes sense. But yeah, that's the game. It is out. 3 or 4 months on this, and it is done. It is shipped. Now, this is version 0.1.0, and I'm going to do a 0.1.1 where I update. The scrape sound is a little too loud compared to the other sounds. Like, it's a bit too loud of a sound effect. I still need to add a better crash sound effect. And there were a couple other things that were just minor touches that I wanted to add and fix and whatnot. But for the time being, it is great. It is great fun. We finished the tutorial level. Oh, I want to add in the L track, the hand-coded one. Those hand-coded tracks, they took so long to make, and I wanted to include them because they took so long to make, and I had fun with them. But I also think they might be the funnest tracks. As fun as it is to be able to make your own tracks, for the final, version 1 of this game, I might have to make 20 or 10 hand-coded tracks, which sounds like a nightmare, but they are so smooth and so fun to play. So I think I'm going to add in the L track, and I'm going to add in it. Currently, the small speed track is just a, what's it called? What's the thing? It's just the tutorial track, but what's it called? I want to add that so it's a real track, and add the L track so it's a real track. So yeah, that's where that is. I'm way excited. This went very well. You might notice in the thumbnail, this is a different devlog now, and that's correct. It is a different devlog. We're moving on to bigger and other things. So actually, I joined a game jam. I'm going to do version 1 or 0.1.1 of Redline, but I'm not doing that this week because I entered a game jam. So it's a big one. It's the GMTK game jam. It's one of the biggest as game jams go. Let me see if I can find that. Oh boy, I really need to have less windows open. Here it is. Holy Hannah. Man, time flies. I have 3. It started yesterday, so I have 3 days, 0 hours, and 55 minutes left, which is rough. RUF rough. So And I might have bitten off more than I can chew. Honestly, today will prove whether or not I did. But I keep saying I'm going to do pixel art because I do really good pixel art. Or better said, I do good enough pixel art. By a significant margin, I do good enough pixel art. Like it could be in a game. It's solid enough to be in a game. I don't do it nearly as fast or nearly as amazing as the top tier pixel artists, but I'm a good pixel artist, you know? I'm not even a middle tier normal artist. I'm a cheating tier 3D artist. Like I use too many like static objects. I don't edit enough of them, so my stuff looks blocky in 3D. And the stuff that I do sculpt takes me too long to do to make a full game's worth of assets. So you would think, yeah, another 3D game, especially one with a moving character, not a good idea. And you would probably be right, but I did it anyway because I'm really smart. But here's the thing. And I will make a 2D pixel game at some point in the nearish future. But I wanted better movement mechanics, if that makes sense. I've had this idea for a game for forever. Of a game where you're able to fly around space, you're moving crazy fast. You can, a lot like Redline, but, freeform. You can go anywhere you want. You're not just stuck in the track. So I really like movement mechanics. So you can feel really free in a game. And I saw some gameplay from Armored Core and another mech game, and I have always had a thing for mechs. They're so cool. I actually went and built mechs with my brothers the other day, and I'm going to show you this. Actually, I think this is hilarious. Because it was a ton of fun, but also, oh no, we added my brother-in-law to the who I love and I adore him, to our bros group chat. But he has an Android phone, which means the texts no longer come through to my MacBook computer, which means I can't show you this awesome video without too much work. But yeah, that's fine. It's not a big deal. Anyways, I got together with my brothers. I made mechs. You guys know if you've watched this channel at all, I make mechs somewhat frequently. I think I might have one. No, I pull them all off my desk because I went to do this mech thing, and I was like, here's kind of what we're doing. Showed them all my mechs. So they're in the kitchen right now, which my wife is thrilled about. She loves it when I leave all my mechs on the kitchen table. Anyways, so big fan of mechs, and I saw those, and I was like, oh, the movement and the timing, because some of them had what I think it was an indie one, had this timing window thing where you had to nail it perfectly to get the shot off right and to get its target right and do more damage and whatnot. And it was so cool, and just the feeling of movement and just as all the things are coming in at you and you're dodging out of the way and hitting them with yours. So cool. Pair that with the space flight feel that I was going for, and oh my gosh, what a fun game. So that was the idea, but here's the problem. I don't want to animate skeletons. And by that, if you don't know game terms, I don't mean literal skeletons. I mean you get a skeletal structure attached to the thing, and you got to do that in Blender. If your guy is human, specifically human shaped, you can do that. You can cheat and do that in Mixamo. And by the way, I don't say cheat as a derogatory. I cheat all that I can in legal and ethical ways, and that is a legal and ethical way to do it. So I would say if you're not cheating for your art, you don't care about your art enough, legally and ethically. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, that's my thought, is a mech game where you're fighting things in a mech suit and you're able to fly planet to planet. Now, planets are huge. This idea I've had for a very long time, and it's essentially just Outer Wilds mixed with Mario Galaxy, where the planet gravity is towards the planet, and as you go into space, you can get off of the planet's gravity, and as you come into the gravity well of another, you'll start falling towards that one. The basic mechanics for this took me longer than I thought they would, and I'm hoping that's the big hurdle. I think combat will likely be the biggest hurdle, but Yeah, let's see what I've got so far, because I've spent now 5 minutes at least since I brought up the GMTK Game Jam thing talking about this. Oh yeah, the theme is countdown, which actually fits what I'm doing really well and fits into the what's it called? Sci-fi universe that I've been building that Redline is technically a part of, but not that much. Okay, so I built this robot and his head is falling off, which is a problem. Yeah, see, head's falling off. That's a problem. I've got the pivot point wrong on that. So what I did instead, we got the sun over here. Oh yeah, that's awesome. We got something over there that looks scary, and that is the premise of the game. That looks scary, and it's coming towards the sun. So instead of rigging a skeleton, this might be a bad idea as a side note, and I recognize that, but it might be a really good one. I actually just exported, so this arm is all one piece. This is one model. The torso, one model. The leg, one model. The head is one model. Actually, the hand is also a separate model. And I am getting a call. I can't take that right now. Okay, I hear crying. Oh, crap. Is that my kid or is that his kid? I don't know. Okay, very unprofessional, guys, but my wife went to get a breakfast burrito because she's pregnant and yeah. I'm going to go check real quick. Give me 30 seconds. We're good. Don't know what my buddy wanted, but it can probably wait. So yeah, as a side note, we didn't just leave our kids out. We have one kid who's old enough to be separated from us for a bit, and the one that's not went with my wife to the thing. Anyways, so yeah, that's where we are on this. Yeah, so separate models. The cool thing is this will allow me to do procedural animations. So, yeah, that's one of his kids crying, and he's there. Okay, so this will allow me to do I'm not doing procedural animations yet. But it'll allow me to do that. I'll get the arrows that work for this. This will be better on a controller, but whatever. And my controls are still pretty clunky for flight, which is exactly the opposite of the goal. At current, you just hit spacebar a lot, and I think I'm in space. I am in space. And now we fly to the other planet. And I don't have animations for this, but we are flying. You can see it. Oh, at some point we'll hit the gravity. Oof, and it reorients us. So it was surprising how long this took. I know it doesn't look like much. Oh, and we have a ragdoll effect. So if I kill him, nope. If I kill him, and then I can regenerate him. And if I kill him up here, and his head bobbles. Okay, and that's the base game. That's what we have so far. Now I'm going to swap out this model because the countdown gave me a cool idea. So instead, I have this guy. He is an architect, which is my favorite race that we've created for the sci-fi universe. I may have talked about them before, but probably only a little. So I'm going to start exporting him, and while I do that, I'm going to tell you about the architects and the premise of the game. So the premise of the sci-fi universe, and this came from a necessity type of thing. I wanted to have lasers. And not just lasers, I wanted to have Star Wars and other like 80s sci-fi type lasers. And I wanted them to make scientific sense. Because if you know anything about actual lasers, they look nothing like that. Most of the time, they would be invisible. If they would be visible, they'd look like a giant beam that would heat up and melt anything in front of them. They don't look like a glowing shot that moves relatively slowly through the air compared to bullets or what actual lasers would do, slow enough for a Jedi to pew, bounce it. That's not what lasers look like. That's not laser. You know what that is that's a particle gun. Particle guns would look exactly like that. It's where you'd spin up you'd pick particles, types of particles, you'd spin them up really, really fast in a chamber, and you'd fire a burst of them, and they would flare in the air different colors depending on what material you used. And they would then hit and burn like lasers do from 80s TV shows and movies and whatever else. So they would look, that's particle weapons would look like that. So I was like, okay, particle weapons is the thing. Okay. The cool thing too is, the main necessity, the very base necessity. I wanted those lasers, but I wanted something else more. I wanted melee combat in space that made sense. That's hard to do because melee combat doesn't make a ton of sense now. Don't get me wrong, it makes sense to be ready for melee combat. Every soldier should have a knife, but no soldier should be running in with a sword instead of a gun or a sword and a pistol. Like, it just does not make sense at this point. You'd rather take a rifle and a knife, even a bayonet on your thing. Like, that makes some sense, but the gun is still the main thing. And I wanted glorious weapons, swords and stuff like that. I said, okay, so if we go particle weapons, then we can disrupt particle. You can disrupt particle weapons. If you had just a sandstorm, particle weapons wouldn't shoot as well because each grain of sand that hit one of the particles, it would explode on that and your beam would fizzle. So you could create a particle field around people that disrupted particle blasts. Cool, we have shields. Now, if everyone had those, people would stop using particle weapons. So I had to do two things. One was I needed to make, canonically, the shields are very difficult to make. They're extremely expensive. Only officers and really high-end warriors will have those. So you've got a few melee guys with a lot of troops firing particle weapons. Now, why don't people just use slugs to shoot those other guys? That was the other question. And technically, they still could if they used ceramics and stuff like that. But I thought, what if there was no metal to shoot? What if shooting metal was like shooting platinum? Shooting aluminum was, or tin or whatever else was like shooting platinum. It was too expensive to fire as slugs. Technically, you could do other stuff, but I'm gonna sidestep that and say it's done, but it's not common. So it's something to watch out for, but it's not that common. Anyways, so these people would be nigh impervious to particle fire, to 99% of the guns that are on the field. Those wouldn't be able to hit these people. Now, obviously, the shields can only take so much, and maybe they'd overheat and go out if you just stand in the middle of a field and take shots from a whole army. It's not going to work. But if you're strategic with it, you can run and you can attack stuff. Now, here's the problem. If you have a particle shield that's stopping everyone else's shots from hitting you, it will stop all of your shots from hitting them. It is not a one-way shield. So not only can you not be shot, but you can't shoot. So you run around with a sword slashing things, which is awesome. But I needed no metal in the galaxy. Now, the galaxy has a lot of metal. So what do I do for this? Quite simply, where am I here? Downloads. I just made this image. I will not be able to use this for the jam. I will have to make another version of this image. Oh, but my finder is deciding to be a wad. So we're going to let that sit for a second. So I created a race of bad guys for the history of this. And this is what we're doing for this game is we're going back to the history. Man, this was a long thing. Dyson spheres. So, in case you don't know what this is a concept where this here is a star. Like the sun, which is like 1 billion times bigger than the Earth. So the Earth is the very tip of the pointer of my mouse right there. And then there's the sun, and then there's the Dyson sphere. Now, obviously, for a Dyson sphere, you need an incredible amount of metal. So these aliens, which I will not go into right now because they are not important for this story and not important, they're really cool. A little bit like xenomorphs from Alien, but worse and more differenter. I had this. They're based on a concept I had where what if scurvy was a disease or poison? Because scurvy is horrifying. Scurvy, you don't have enough. Nutrients in your blood, so your body literally starts liquefying your organs for nutrients. It is a horrifying disease. Anyways, I was thinking, what if a creature could convince your body it had scurvy to make your blood rich with all these minerals that it wanted to. Anyways, and I made a whole horrific race based on that. But anyways, that race is out to enslave and populate through the sentient creatures in the galaxy, essentially turn them into cattle, and also to harvest all of the metals. And they are winning the war. They have harvested 80 to 90% of the metal in the galaxy, and they're building these huge Dyson spheres. They are unbeatable. Not only are they doing that, but they picked stars that are larger and are outputting a lot, and then they add in pressure and add in mass and material to them to get them to feed out even more energy to make even larger and more powerful Dyson spheres, right? So they're doing this and taking up all the metal, which would make these stars unstable if they didn't have these siphoning processes to keep them from going supernova. They've got all these safety protocols. So what do our ragtag heroes, pretty much all of the other sentient races in the galaxy, band together over this, including all of the architects, which made most of those sentient species? I should really start exporting this guy. Architects. They have a long beak thing, and part of my headcanon is they are the ones that helped build the pyramids. So the reason that I think it's Ra and some of the others have the bird head is because they're actually drawing architects as these gods that came down with. Anyways, so but probably a single architect. Anyways, so the story, the lore for the universes were tens of thousands of years after this war, and in this war, the way that they won is by disrupting these cooling systems, these siphoning systems, long enough to cause a catastrophic failure and cause these Dyson spheres to go supernova, and then turn into a black hole. So essentially, they detonate the stars at the center of all of these giant Dyson spheres all over the galaxy, which creates all kinds of new black holes all over the galaxy, which messes up warp travel or slipstream travel and all these other things, causes all kinds of problems. And one of those problems is 80 to 90% of the metal in the galaxy is now stuck in black holes, which means we are dealing between all of the sentient races with like 10 to 15, maybe 20% of the metal that we should have for all of those. So everyone's learning to do without that much metal. And it's very cool. So there's a lot of stuff within that. That's the base history. So what we're doing is we're following a single architect. The gods or creators, we're playing as them, of most of the sentient races in the galaxy, including one of them made these bad guys, and either lost control of it or decided that he wanted to fight the others, something like that. Anyways, so all the other architects banded together. We're following one of them that is going to try to detonate a single Dyson sphere. So that's that black orb. I'm going to swap it for something like this thing you see on your screen. And it's essentially coming towards us, and that's our countdown. It's coming towards us. We only have a certain window to take it out. We'll have a ticking clock on our HUD, our heads-up display. And we've only got a certain amount of time to finish the game, detonate the sphere, and die for the cause. And that's the game. So the scope seems doable. It's the it's the mechanics that seem tricky. So yeah, that's the concept for the game. Now the architects. And I'm actually going to start exporting this now. I apologize. That took a lot. That took a while. Let's do this. Let's see. So we want you guys, and we're going to export our selected. Nope. And we have the box. Okay. Okay, so the architects. This is my favorite race that we've created. It is incredibly cool. Airdrop here. So yeah, there's the Dyson Sphere architect. So the architects. This was so I've got so many high-end genetic biologists in my life. It's ridiculous. My best friend who lives with me is a genetic biologist. My brother-in-law, who has an Android phone, is a genetic biologist. I really got to get him an iPhone. Okay, so we want. What is this? This is forearm. But the actual forearm. Okay, then we're gonna grab this one. Holy cow, this model has a ton of pieces. Okay, that. And I'm only shipping one of each, and the code just mirrors it. So they only have a left arm, and then the code mirrors that to the other side for efficiency. Export that. Okay, so the architects, with my many geneticists, we wanted to see if we could make, because everything requires community. It's a requirement for getting to space. You need more people than you. And one of the reasons you need more people than you is that we're not smarter than the earliest like cave people. Like they started farming, and that was pretty much the origin of our species, which interestingly enough, God taught Adam to farm. And you look at the genetic divergence, and it was the first time farming was introduced, and then all other hominids, the Neanderthals, and every other race that was similar to us that would make us genetically diverse died out. Interesting thing, we are, with the exception of like things that you would find in like a closed cave where nothing has interacted with this species for billions of years, with the exception of those, humans are the least genetically diverse species on the earth. Nothing beats us out for that title. Nothing that has had contact with anything else beats us out for that title. White, Asian, black, like all of these, all of the different races, it's almost as if we tweaked just enough genes for cosmetics. Like it seriously is almost just cosmetics that was tweaked for that. There is so little genetic diversity between us. It is astounding. There's more genetic diversity between horse breeds of horses than there is between us and chimpanzees. Like, and we're pretty far from chimpanzees. Like we are so, like compared to how far we are. Like, we're talking how different I am from an Asian person. Like we're millions of times more different from chimpanzees. The two of us are very close cousins, me and the Asian person or black person, whatever else. Like we're so close genetically. It's astounding. But where was I going with that? Wow, community. How did I get there from community? You need community. Oh, because we're not that different. If you took humans, like if you took babies and got them to survive without teaching them stuff and then put them out in the wilderness where no one could contact them, they would be cave people. Like there would be, it's, And they would have the same, lifestyle and mortality rate and all that other stuff because it's education that makes us advance, which is really, really bad considering the state of our education system. Because that's the thing. It's not that human beings, our brains are getting better. It's that we're able to teach those brains stuff early, and we're able to teach them a lot. We know more now than we did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Human beings are smarter now, despite what test scores say. I guess humanity as a whole is smarter than now because there's been experiments, breakthroughs, and other things in the last 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever, all those years. There's been breakthroughs. So you need community is the thing. It is a must because caveman can't get to space. Let's call this bicep. It's got his pauldron too, bicep, shoulder. Okay, then let's go grab his thigh. Wow, that is a small piece. No dissing on the architect here. It's just, it only has 3 pieces, which it looks good, but yeah. Let's go thigh. Thigh high. It's like sky high, but thigh high. It's sky high with a lisp. Okay, then let's go with his leg. Okay, so we wanted a race that didn't need community to get to space. Now, community is also an ideal way to get to space because you can't do everything yourself. So you'd have to do everything yourself. So what we came up with was, all right, we need a species that lives incredibly long and ideally forever. Unless they're killed. Like they're not immortal, but they won't die of natural causes. So we need that, and we started searching for ways that can happen. And we also need them to be entirely asocial, at least with their own kind. So what we came up with was it's a paradise-type planet that we called Eden. The term had to come from somewhere. That was the original planet. Early in the galaxy, kind of close to the center when it was first exploding and, expanding. This planet got habitable and got beautiful, absolute tropical paradise. And the architects started to form this species. Now, like certain creatures, I believe this is it's a type of jellyfish that can essentially polyp and re-give birth to itself. Essentially, it rewrites and recreates all of its genetic code, but it's the same creature. Now, it doesn't have a complex brain, which is tricky. And your brain does degrade over time, too. So we needed to figure that out. Not just that, but so there's 2 problems with this. Your brain, one, will degrade over time, so you need to renew your brain. But all your memories are in your brain. So if you rebuild your brain, you're going to lose some stuff. And 2, you're living a very long time. So you need more memory than we can hold. I believe the human brain can hold 2 petabytes, which is a lot. But if you start filling that with high-def video, you fill it up like that, which is why most of our memories aren't video, interestingly enough. You don't remember scenes as played through things. You remember images, you remember smells, you remember other things because they're memory-saving shorthand. If you remember a high-def video of something that happened, it's probably pretty traumatic or eventful because that is a lot of storage space for the limited stuff that can fit in the human brain. So yeah, 2 petabytes, not enough for an eternal life. Certainly not enough for a space program. A solo space program. You cannot store all the data you need for a space program, including a eternal life in 2 petabytes. So we needed more memory and we needed stable memory. So we decided, okay, they're doing it like the jellyfish where they're going to essentially rebuild themselves. And we decided, okay, they make a chrysalis similar to a caterpillar or whatever else. They make a pod around themselves that they are then kind of liquefied into soup and rebuilt from the ground up. Which might be gross. I don't know. I think it's cool. Anyways, so they also have beaks and they for tropical fruits and whatnot. They have, grabber hands and grabber feet. They're kind of beaked monkey type things. Anyways, so they can be tool users. So anyways, they crystallize every however often, I don't know, 70, 80 years or something like that. I don't have the exact details on when and why they crystallize. Doesn't matter all that much. But their brain liquefies and is rebuilt, so it's new and fast and gorgeous. And their memories stay. Now, the way their memories stay, and this is cool, is did I send this? I did not. This is the foot, right? Yes, this is the foot. All right, and we are going to export here. So the way they keep their memory is they, it's DNA. So DNA is incredible. DNA in single cells, we can store so much information. It's like computer code. There's 4 different nodes in DNA that it uses, and computers are all built off of 2 different nodes, on or off. It's on or off, and that's why when you see ones and zeros, 1 is on, 0 is off. And all of computer code can be broken down into these ones and zeros. Well, God's code is DNA code, and it has 4 bits to it, which means you can do a lot more with it, and you can store a lot more data in a lot smaller, like it's exponentially bigger, like as far as data you can store. And in each cell, you can store, or in some, actually, okay, in some cells, you can store the entire biology of a human being, which is so much more complex, as a side note, than most rocket ships are. Like just how human beings work, we can't build this. It's all stored in like a single cell. This is incredible. So DNA is awesome. So what if DNA were repurposed to store memory? So they've got essentially this knot of extra DNA, and their brain is designed to pull apart and uncode this. If you're thinking computer terms, this would be the DNA bundle in there that would store millions of petabytes of data would be like the CPU on your computer, or not the CPU, the hard drive of your computer. It stores all of the stuff. Now, in their brain, it would also be very slow, as a side note. In their brain, the fast twitch, thing, it would have RAM memory, which would be their short-term memory that can be converted into long-term memory. And they would have their reaction that controls all their limbs and stuff. So the cool thing is they would have to think about, like, they might know more about you and your race than anyone in your race does. Like, they might know everything about you, but they might not know it right now. So they might like see you and they're like, okay, 5 fingers, 4 limbs, 4 appendages, single head, two eyes. This is a human, and they would start decoding the DNA, and they might seem like they know nothing about you, and then after 10 minutes, they're like, oh yeah, I'm actually an expert on this, which is just cool, I think. Anyways, the other thing is the chrysalis is highly toxic. It destroys the environment around it. So they're somewhat nomadic in that they move around. They will move away from the toxic thing and not build a chrysalis in the same place twice. But also, they hate their own kind. Not in like a I want to murder you kind, but in an entirely asocial way. Because if you have 2 chrysalises in the same area, you're going to destroy all of the fruits and plants and things that you need to survive. And if you keep doing that, like if you gather a bunch of architects together, you will destroy the local environment with all of the chrysalises, and they will all starve and die. So naturally, they meet. They meet to procreate every now and again, but they don't stay. They don't watch after their young. They don't stay together. They separate, and they just don't meet each other. So with that, they finally got space travel. One of them did, and then more did. And the cool thing is, each individual architect is a cultural is a culture in and of itself. It has no influences aside from itself. So let's say foot. /thigh. Okay. And we should probably bicep / shoulder. And then we're going to grab the hand. I'm not excited to grab the torso. I haven't split that one up in exactly the way that I would want to, and that is going to be a little tricky. But that's fine. Airdrop there. So yeah, that's the architects. They then went and fostered life all over the galaxy because it's useful to have a community. They just don't want, biologically, they have a disgust factor for a community of things that look like them. So fostering sentient life made some sense. And each one is entirely different, which is cool. So we can have an Egyptian-themed one. We can have all kinds of themes. So this is going to be his hand. I know this one's going slow. This one's just more of a lore dump. I should be working more on stuff, but... Oh, what you going to do? Oh, hey, I might have done this already. If I did, that's awesome. I almost did. Where is that cylinder? Okay, you are part of the torso, not part of the head. Okay, so the premise for the game, assuming this works, that is the head. Okay. Export the selected things. We've got the head. Oh, we are close. We are close. This was a lot of stuff. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. That was very off key. But what are you going to do? Torso. That is the whole torso. Okay, we got it. We're there. So let's export the torso. Airdrop. And that is it. That was so much more than I thought it would be. I gave this guy knees and elbows. So ideally we'll have better articulation with this. I might should have saved this for another thing. But it gave me a second to lore dump, which is always fun. At least for me. You guys might not be enjoying it, but who's to know? Who's to know? New folder. Architect. Power. Armor. All right, architect power armor. And we've got all the pieces. We've got the bicep, shoulder, foot, and thigh, forearm, hand, head, thigh, torso. That's it. Yeah, that's ready. Okay. Now we got to put that into the project. Not in scenes, in 3D. Come on. Puppet bot. Architect power armor. But let's actually select the file we want it in so we don't put this in the wrong place. Not that that would be the end of the world. Come on. Work for me, baby. This might take a second. So yeah, the premise for this architect specifically is... Oh, there we go. That's better. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Here. Aha! Got it on the... All right, so we're going to say Dyson sphere. And we're going to just bring you into 2D. See if we can throw you in the project. Start making this thing look good. 2D. Okay. And we officially have the Dyson Sphere. And where on earth did my architect go? Is he in? No. Where? There he is. You should be there. Yes, that is where I wanted you. Okay. Architect Power Armor is now in the project. We are moving and a grooving, and that only took us 45 minutes, so we are well on track to finish this whole game in 2-3 days. You get off the screen. All right. Did I implement this? I did implement this. Okay. I officially have the Architect Power Armor. So the thing with this guy is he either helped create one of the races, but has left them at this point for the final stages of the war, or this architect happens to be a loner. He never wanted to cultivate any species or anything like that. He's just got an amazing suit of power armor that he uses to fly and roam around the galaxy. But now he's going to put it all on the line to try to take out the enemy, who I need a name for now because I've made them. They were always the devils in the ancient history, because now we don't have the metals, but now I'm doing the ancient history and I need a name for this species. In the same folder as the puppet bot, and in the 2D folder I have I have the Dyson Sphere image. We try to rig up the Architect Armor and replace the big black sphere with the Dyson Sphere image. Okay. And ideally that'll just work, but maybe it won't, and we'll have to do some more. Yeah, that's a good call. Okay, so that is where we're sitting. We're in relatively good shape. Yes, I want you to be able to do that. This is risky. I'm going to try drinking something else while on camera and see if I spill it all over myself. Nailed it. 10 out of 10. This is the best channel out there. Guy can drink 50% of the time without spilling all over himself. What a legend. Anyways, okay, so while we're waiting on this, I am going to go download some free assets because I do not have time to, what's it? Oh, boy. Okay, that's not what I intended. Download. Okay. I'm just going to download all these, and I am not going to donate for the moment, which, it is what it is. I may not use these long term. If I use these long term and make any money from this, I'll probably come back and donate. but I doubt I will use these long term. Okay, let's see. Allow Claude to run a check for you. Yeah, that's fine. So I found some assets earlier. Download, continue without donating. Because I'm going to need to populate these things. So I found some basic city assets. I found some basic trees and stuff. And I found a basic skybox. So that's a good start. Let's see. Here we go. Kenny got all of these for me. Go, Kenny. Wow, this is huge. Let's see what we're looking. We got Kenny City Kit, Kenny Industrial Kit, Kenny Graveyard. I got this for the dirt patches and the trees. And the mini forest, more differenter trees, because, you know, trees tend to be different. And then a basic skybox. I will replace this definitely before we ship it, but I just want to look at something pretty while I make the game and start, you know, you shape things as you go. Oh boy. Skyboxes. Oh no, they're PNGs. That's not right. Okay, that's not right at all. Let's do a new project. Hey, early bird. It is, it's still the morning, I guess. I'm making a 3D game in Godot. I need a space skybox that is full of stars and looks gorgeous. I have some images that could work, but I am under. They all look terrible in Godot's skybox thing. Unity's looks great. Do you need a special file type? And where can I get one of those for free? Because my budget is 0. Man, that was slurpy. Okay. Godot's panorama sky material wants an equirectangular image, 2:1 aspect ratio, single wide panorama, not 6 cube faces, and ideally in HDR or EXR format rather than regular JPEG. That's almost certainly why your images look bad. If you feed it an 8-bit JPEG PNG, Godot's tone mapper stretches the contrast and you get visible banding, stars turning into blotchy gradients. Okay. Environments, tone map stretches with XR, scary. Free skyboxes that are confirmed to work in Godot. All sky free. Let's look for that. Free. Godot. Download. There's a free Unity skybox. 10 skyboxes. Yeah, let's give it a shot. That sounds awesome. All right. All sky free. And we're going to get rid of Kenny skyboxes. Oh boy. Okay. Whoa. Okay. It is going to count as being very old. TCSN. Okay, skyboxes. This is what we want. Oh, mama. Okay, HDR EXR is what we're looking for. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay, they've got scenes for this. We've got an icon. Cold sunset, clear blue sky, cartoon night sky. All sky. Okay. All sky free. Moonburst equidirect. Okay, that's probably that one. Not what we're looking for. Space, another planet, equidirect. Cartoon-based night sky. This might be our cold night. Ooh, that is cool, but not what we're looking for. We are on. As a side note, I'm aware that the planet size is entirely unrealistic. I'll probably bring them, grow them just a bit, but oh no, not you. Eesh. These are terrible. Deep dusk. Yeah. Oh my gosh, these are the worst. Why are these the worst? I just need a starry sky. Well, we're in trouble. Maybe we leave this. See, that's beautiful. That's gorgeous. Why can't that glorious pink is a appropriate term for what I'm looking at here? Can we actually see? Look at this, beautiful. Oh my gosh, that's breathtaking. Look at that. That is that's why are the others dog water? That's frustrating. Okay. I guess the space, the one looking at the planet is good. This one would be our best possible. Okay, why no make things space skyboxes? Yeah, this looks terrible. They're all meant to be on planet. Still, this doesn't look great comparatively speaking. Let's be real with ourselves for a moment here. Okay, Earth. No, I don't want that. Why no make things space skyboxes? Let's try that one. I need this in HDR, EXR, right? Yeah, HDR or EXR. No, I did not mean that. Okay. Download. Oh, they're PNGs. Why are they PNGs? Okay, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. We're going to do Epic Glorious Pink. Demo landscape, another planet, cartoon, cold night, cold sunset, deep dusk, epic blue sunset, epic glorious pink. This is what we're looking for. In here, we'll create a new folder. Skyboxes. Actually, that's a TCSN. You know what? Screenshot. Godot cover. Just basic screenshots. All right, all sky free. We're just going to pull this whole thing into the project for now. So we have skyboxes. We're going to throw all sky free into there. Well, that's worrisome. Where did it go? Did it not go in? Come on, baby. Work for me. Come on. Right there. Okay. Well, let's go back to this thing because it's definitely done by now. AstroSage. Okay. Wow. Okay. Here we go. All right. Split limbs, upper arm, forearm, thigh, shin. Exactly the plan. Two things I need to check before rigging. The UUIDs. Nose, colon, file limbs, bicep, shoulder, thigh. I don't have colons. Good news. Bicep, shoulder, forearm, hand, shoulder, elbow, wrist, head, torso. Fine, and I can reference them by UUID. Don't bite. There are no colons. Are there? Did it swap them to colons? It did. Bicep. Shoulder. Oof. Thigh. And I think that was all. Okay, world TCSN. Let's do this. Run in a world, find that, replace it with this, like that. And we're going to replace this with nothing. I like how it was like, it didn't say, hey, delete this. It was like, hey, replace this with nothing. There's nothing we want to replace this. Okay. Now, new file, architect, power armor. Oh, wow. I don't, geez, do you ever hit the wrong key and you just wonder if you did that wrong? Okay, so scenes. Okay, oh, yes, I want to reload it from disk. Please don't break. Scenes. I have a lot of scenes. I need less scenes. Create new scene. And we're going to do that. Oh, no. There we go. Architect power armor rig.tcsn. Frick yeah. And we're gonna copy code for it. This should rig it up, ideally, like we did the other one. Except, oh, there it is. It's like I've got more scenes than this. I have all the scenes. I need to get rid of a lot of scenes. Okay. Reload from disk. Reload from disk. Open it. Every piece piles at that origin expected. Same hierarchy pattern as PuppetBot. Just deeper. Next step positioning. Okay. Let's just see how it works. This is the same dude. Get off. Scene. Reload saved scene. World. Let's see. Okay. All endpoints, cascade, left side, mirror, repoint. That update pose and build ragdoll with new joins. Deeper. That was many sessions with the jam time ticking. It works. Open the scaffold. Open the scaffold. Okay. Well, this is going to be tricky. Godot's got some weird things. And by weird, I mean I don't know how to do them. Architect's power armor. Ah, jeez. Get out. Root. Why can't I see this? Architect power armor. Gosh dang it. Oh, this. Aha. Now you get the heck out of here. Oops. Oh, geez. Okay. That looks right. Okay. Everything. Actually, let's just double check a couple of things. Seems to be in the right place, but unmirrored. So he only has limbs on the left of his body. In addition, it seems the joints are just as high as they were with the initial puppet, but rig can recode that so they match up with the ball joint. Okay. Here's an important question. Yeah, the pivot point is way too high. Maybe the skeletal mesh would have been easier. It certainly would have been easier, but this is more of a long-term strategy. Like, to be able to edit these with code would be incredible. Okay. Sorry, guys. The coding hasn't been as thick this time. It's been a lot of planning and whatnot. Though we did get to go over a cool lore dump, which maybe you guys are interested in. I don't know. I think the sci-fi universe is incredibly cool. Okay. Let's go back to our 3D assets. Nothing there, huh? Let's throw you into art assets. Maybe you'll be useful. Okay, mini forest. License. I already saw the license. FBX. GLB. Object. Okay. Jeez. FBX GLB object. Textures. No textures. Okay. Let's go ask some other questions of our other AI. No look with any, no lusk. Any of those. No luck with any of those. Let's take a quick detour. If I have 3D assets for this that I found online, I want to use them for very little processing power, and ideally without having to what format should I take? FBX, GLB, OBJ. And GLB hands down. Wow. Okay, GLB is the way to go. Code. AstroSage. Oh, I forgot to mention that. Dang it. Two things, both scriptable. Same tools as PuppetBot, just more joins. Mirror at the left. Okay. Architect rig.gd. Scenes. Scripts. Player. Yeah, you probably go in here. Create new script. Architect rig.gd. Amazing. That was what I call it, right? No, not you. You. B. Okay, we might actually want you in seats. Okay. Okay. On the architect power to select. Okay. Okay, robot root. And we want to attach the architect. The architect. There it is. Okay, there's that. Now we need to follow those other cryptic instructions. Select L shoulder pivot inspector. L shoulder pivot. Inspector, transform scale X. Okay, transform scale X -1. As a side note, let's see what this is actually doing. I don't know. Oh, whoa. Let's see. Don't link them. Okay, that seems to have worked. Left shoulder, right shoulder, left hip. Minus. And we have ourselves an architect. Okay. Now let's look at those pivot points. Those pivot points. Still abysmal. Oh, wait, that one's good. The shoulder actually, really quick, save, scene, reload, save scene. Awesome. Seem to be right. Leg, hips are still pivoting from the nipples. The hips are still pivoting from the nipples. Not good. Let's try adding in a basic walk animation so I'm not just guessing here. Also, I renamed the files so there are no more colons. All right, there's that. Now let's go add in some assets. So in 3D, we are going to puppet power armor. Let's do create new folder terrain. Okay, so we want the GLB. But I want to see what these actually are. We got the bridge, building platform, building roof, building structure, character, archer, fence. Fence will be good. Patch dirt. I don't know why I'm doing this. I should be doing this the other way. Should be GLB format. So we want the fence. We want the patch dirt, patch platform, rocks, rock ramp, stones, option, tree high, intent to target tree. We're going to copy, and we want all of those. Now we're going to go file, new folder. We're going to call these ones I want. And the fetch. Enter. Ones I want. And I should have just put those in there to start with. But who can account for sanity? Not I, truly. Tree high and tree. You both go into ones I want. The models, we will bring these over. Ones I want. Okay, we got the mini forest. We got the graveyard. We want to look at the objects. The object of my attention. The altar out of stone, the altar out of wood. I think I want both of those. Broken bench, not broken bench. Pillar, my word, these are actually really good. I don't want the walls. Surprisingly, the graveyard might have most of what I'm looking for. Candles, dang. That is a goofy ghost. But you can make a whole little game out of this. Oh, that skeleton is amazing. Oh my gosh, the vampire. I love that skeleton. I'm not gonna lie to you right now. Oh my gosh, the ribs. That's an amazing model. Oh, I love the style. Oh, geez. In the words of the British, I sound like I'm taking a piss, but I love this. That warms my soul. Oh, that looks great. Gandhi in the morning. Okay. Well, leaving that where it's at. Zombie. Okay, we got a lot of coffin old. I don't think I'm going to populate the world with a bunch of coffins. Column large. Maybe. Okay, crosses. Might be worth. Just cross. Crypt. Okay. Got a lot of crypts. Debris. Okay, debris I want. Detailed bowl. Oh, a detailed bowl. Detailed chalice. Plate. Fence damaged. Fence gate. Oh, I don't want this. I don't want to have to worry about fence creating. Certainly not at this point. Fire basket. Oh, that's cool. Grave border. Grave. Oh boy. Gravestone. Gravestone broken. Gravestone cross large. Gravestone cross. Gravestone debris. Wow, there's a lot here. This pack has so much stuff. Honestly, part of me wants to ditch what I'm doing and just make a scary game with these bits because they are great. But I'm not going to do that because that would be smart. Iron fence bar. Oh, we've got an iron fence now. Okay, come on. Where are the trees? How long is this? Oh my gosh, we are not even close. This is so long. Okay. Trunk. Oh my word. Trunk long. Holy shoot, in the morning. This is incredible. This is so big. Okay, pine fall. I want both of those. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna go GLP and we're gonna go by vibes. Altar stone, altar wood, bench, border pillar. Yes, all of you I want. We're going to go copy. We're going to go down to ones I want. We're going to go V. Okay. Oh, allow Claude to check. Yeah, allow once. Brick wall, candle, character ghost, character skeleton. I want you so badly. I don't know what I would do with you, but I want you. Coffin, old, coffin, column, cross. I want the cross. Copy. V. Okay. Crypt door, all the crypt stuff. Crypt small, crypt. Debris. Copy. V. Details. You know what? Sure. No, they're too small. Gravestone, bevel. All right, here we go. Fire basket. No, you need to be a specific thing. No, I don't want to do that. Copy. I don't want to actually ruin these asset packs. I just want to take some of the things I want. Ah, crap. Hay bale bundled. You know what? Screw it. We're going to do this 3 ways. Mini forest graveyard. Models. Object. Hay bale bundled. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Hay bale. Useful? No. Hay bale bundled? No. Don't want those. Iron fence damaged. It could be cool. Lantern? Nah. Light post? Nah. Light post single. I want that. Wait a second. You know what? I do want a light post single. And I'm just going to have it randomly scatter these throughout the world. Pillar large, pillar small, pine fall. Oh, yeah. Yes, I want all of the trees. Road. Oh boy. We got pumpkins. Road. Rocks. Rocks, shovel, and dirt. Copy. V. This one has so much. Okay. Stone wall, column, stone wall, trunk, long. Yes. Okay. I might make a separate file for trees just so I can have mostly trees. Okay. Now, let's go back. Oh, the city kit. Models. Just so you guys can see what this looks like. and I can. Okay, what do we got here? What are we doing? What are we doing? We're gonna. Oh my gosh, we're gonna do something. Oof. Okay, Architect Power Armor Rig. We got this. We're gonna get rid of you. Architect Power Armor Rig. Find this. We're gonna replace it with this. Shift that. V. Yeah. Replace this with the Magna Carta. Okay. Now, yes, I do want to reload from disk. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Great. Looks perfect. It's hard to tell if his knees are moving. Bit a hunch. So he has a bit of a hunch. His feet need to go further back. Okay, no, this is the wrong way to say this. He's a bit of a hunch. He currently looks like he is doing the can. Feet go flat beneath him, and then kick out straight like a showgirl. Probably want to bend the knees a bit more and bring the arc back a bit on the legs. The good news is the pivot points are right. Okay, we'll get the assets. I think what we're going to try to do today is see if we can populate the galaxy. Ooh, as a side note, I think they changed that. So we're going to stop this. We're going to run this. And I think, lest I am mistaken, there it is. And that is the looming threat. That's going to be so cool. Oh, so we got the sun on one side. And on the other side, the approaching Dyson sphere in all of its majesty. It comes. It comes to destroy us. Okay. Yep, that works. That totally works. Actually. This being right is a big win. Everything else is just numbers. Hips bias the backward arc. Okay. Find this. Replace it with this. Should fee. Replace this with this. Knees deeper bend. With this. Heck yeah. And the last thing with reload from desk. Animation player. Play animation play. Whoa. Whoa. We are bending the wrong way. Okay, what did we just do? We need to do the opposite of that. As is remarkably common. See. Reload from desk. Okay. You know what? A bit worse. But doesn't matter right now. Let's try to swap him in as the player character. And that's a bit worse. Okay. Okay. And then let's get our assets so that we can actually build this thing. Oh, hey, now you can see. Woo. Interesting. That's not how they looked on the thing. But that's okay. Let's go to our view, industrial models, objects. And I am actually going to differentiate these now. I want that. Okay, we're gonna, not you. Here, new folder. We're gonna call this buildings. Ah, shoot. Go back. Ones I want, buildings. Okay, GLB format, of course. Object format. Building. I'm just going to grab all the buildings. Detail tank. Okay, I don't want the chimneys. So let's just go buildings. copy. And we're going to come here, V. And then we're going to go the detail tank. I liked that too. B. Now, let's go back. Because I don't have time. I guess it's still waiting on that, so that's fine. GLB. These are taller buildings. All right. Let's go some big buildings. Copy. V. Skip. Crap. They use the same naming conventions. Copy. Okay. So let's do this. Ones I want. We're going to go V. We're going to go enter tall. Copy. Enter. V. Oh, it's going to take a second. We got this. No, don't do this to me. Hannibal, please. You owe me that much. Okay. Fortunately, that's starting to work. No. We got this. Last one. Nailed it. All right. Now, all of you tall buildings. I think you're tall. Come on. No. There we go. Can go in with the other buildings. And you should work. Yes, we have all our buildings. Okay. We have buildings, we have trees, we have all of our stuff. We should be ready. Let's put this guy in, see if he works, and then let's populate it and call that a day. And I'll have, at that point, a working protagonist, mostly, and a populated universe. And that, with a skybox and a nice sun image, might do what I need it to, hopefully. Okay. Const rig, preload. Okay, so we're going to the player controller. Player controller. Find this. Or replace it with this. That makes sense. You're tied there. The architect rig. Oh. Oh boy. Well, this is going to be either awesome or catastrophic. And we are going to triple check it before it does. Okay. Okay. And let's pause this ridiculous walking cycle and go watch it in live. Oh boy. Oh boy. Can you do the can da 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 do 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 do. I like the jet on the back. It makes him look like he would fly more. Do 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 do. I need to change that light source. Boom. Okay, we got him. He's in. I'm gonna stop being. I'm not gonna stop being ridiculous, but I'm gonna stop doing that. All right. Buildings. We need trees. Trees. So let's go to the trees. Actually, let's file, new folder, trees, tree high, tree stoned. I'm going to throw these in there too. Just make it kind of a nature pack. Then we'll grab the pines, pine crooked, pine fall, pine. Okay, here we go. Throw you in there. Boom. Okay, we have trees, buildings, and then a bunch of other junk. New folder. Other. And we're going to put everything else in there. Because for now, we don't have time to be picky. Other. Okay. Nope. 1, 2, 4. Ooh. Terrain. Create new folder. Scatter. Terrain. That might not be necessary. In fact, I'm certain it's not. I'm going to remove it. I should do that first. Delete. Yes, I'm certain I want to remove scatter terrain. Just want terrain, dang it. Buildings, other trees. Oh, where on earth did my terrain folder go? No, don't put it there. Don't put it there. Why would you want to put it there? Okay. Oh. Uh-oh. Well, this may prove to be a problem. Textures. Okay. Huh. Textures, color map. Let's take a look. Buildings. Whew. Okay, let's try running this and see if... Color map. And other... Okay, we're just gonna try running this. See if this causes a problem. So far, they do not cause us a problem. So let's just try using it. Building other trees. Okay. That works great. Let's try to make a planet population script. We want to remove the boxes. Use the items in the terrain folder. A bunch of assets off Kenny. All right. We want buildings clumped together. We want more trees than any other item. And we want the other folder scattered randomly throughout the system. Planets. All of these need to be on the surface. The surface of the planets. We give that. Actually, let's do this. That's the end goal. Let's just start with a tree scattering script. All right, let's see how it does with this. Okay. Well, if this works. Where in Fat City? Let's see. See, we need a stand-in sun image, and then I'll go recreate both of these, and it should look relatively pretty after this, theoretically. Ooh, that could be fun. I could try to write it so that they don't have colliders necessarily. the trees, at least, the buildings and stuff would. But if the trees don't have colliders, I can make it so that when you walk through a tree, like not colliders that stop you, but colliders that notice that you walked through them, it changes from a tree to the trunk of a tree. If you run through that again, then it changes from the trunk to the smaller trunk. And then you could just kind of deforest the area as you go. Huh. That could be kind of a fun mechanic. Download. All right. Oh, geez. Okay, let's get less of these now that we're done with that mess. Okay. Why am I downloads? Okay. Enter Sun 1. Okay. And we are going to put you in here. The Dyson sphere will just be the Dyson sphere. Actually, the sun will just be the sun. Did you go into skyboxes? Or 3D? Why do you do this to me? Yes, I would like to do that. Sun. Okay, that'll do for now. Oh, and there's that. Not what I meant to grab. Countdown. Okay, let's do this. Oh boy. Perfect. Both red. Here's the plan. Strip the box props. Okay, scenes planet.tcsn. Okay. No, not you. Scenes planet UAV. Whoa. Okay. Replace all of script scenes planet.gd. Scenes planet. Okay, so that one was shorter, so now this one's longer. Let's see. Random generator. Yeah, okay. Reload from disk, please. Now, let's see how badly I broke everything. Well, hey. Okay, we have trees. They're tiny. I believe they're floating. No, they're not floating. That's good. Oh crap. Oh crap. Dang it. Here we go. Here we go. Didn't do it. Dang it. Gotta escape gravity. Escape velocity. Okay, yeah, you got trees too. Okay, two problems. Two problems. The trees have no color, and they are shorter than the player. I have maybe better to shrink the player. The planet will feel bigger by 4 times. The terrain will be appropriately oh my gosh, sized. The assets had color, and I downloaded them. Did I do something wrong? Pulling it in. Also, Aslo, also the black is terrible. Is there a way, I'm pretty sure there is, to remove lighting and have the models just show up where you want? The visible way they are in editors. Also, added a sun image like the Dyson sphere. Let's replace the big yellow sphere. Okay. Better to shrink the player will feel bigger and the terrain will be appropriately sized. The assets had color when I downloaded them. Did I do something wrong when pulling it in? Also, the lighting is terrible. Remove the lighting and have the models just be visible the way they are in editors. Also, I added a sun image like the Dyson sphere. Let's replace the big yellow sphere. Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, it's not there yet, but that's pretty good. Oh, and we have rocks. Okay, I'm sure that's floating. Is that not floating? so looks like it's floating. Allow. Okay, well, maybe we'll finish this in time. Who's to know? As a side note, I might start doing audiobooks as well. And posting them on my YouTube. As a side note, considering trying to turn these guys into an animated series of sorts. That's much more ambitious, but I think it could be fun. I need to pick one as protagonist, but I'm thinking this guy, but I don't know for sure. All right, we'll do this and we'll call it for this week. This is relatively productive. Kinda. It's going to make the planets look better, which is good. Which is definitely good. I should have had them increase the foliage as well. I wonder if I could figure that out. Let's see. We're on the planet.gd. Radius, atmosphere, gravity strength. Tree count. 420. And let's do this with way more trees, shall we? There we go. That's some more freaking trees. Wang Shangbang. That thing does look really cool out there. If I could do the stars and have color on the trees, this game would actually look really good. Then add in the rest of the scatter terrain. Jeez, we're in pretty good shape pretty quick here. I found the cause. Diagnosed it. No color. Your tree points to an external texture. Ooh. Dang. Each GLB looks for green trees, textures, color map. Okay. Let's go look for that real quick. Color map is what we want. Not you. You. Models. Textures. None. That's not good. Previews. Yeah, that ain't right. Okay. Let's go to the industrial. Models. Textures. Okay. They all have textures, but folders, but the building ones are the only ones that are populated, and they don't have anything named color map. It's these three files. You can investigate these four folders at the sum of the most recent downloads in my download folder. All right, let's do that. And whoa. Oh, this is a big change. Fix the color. Your action. I can't add a PNG for you. Okay, we need those. That's fine. Allow Claude to, yes. Lighting. Allow. Okay, world.tcsn. Find this. Oh, this will be great. Theoretically, this should look way better. V. Yes. Beautiful. And this. Allowance. V. Okay. With that. Okay, yeah, I guess this is a bigger change because I'm removing all of the lighting and making it, I guess, baked in. I am new to gaming and game development. That's probably the right term. Actually, that's almost certainly not the right term. But I don't know why people don't do this more frequently. I did this for Redline and it worked great. I'm actually curious to see how it'll work with this. Wow, that is a lot of code. Allowance. Okay. Shrink the player rig. Okay, scripts, player controller. Cool. We're just gonna add that line, huh? Player scale. Replace spawn reg. Oh, and now I can modify that myself. That's actually nice. With that. Okay, now you're still working. We are going to jump back to Le Projet. Reload world from disk. Rerun the shiz. Let's see. Oh, you look pretty. Oh, look at you and your glorious detail. That sun looks terrible. I'm actually very excited to replace that. But oh, this looks better. Oh, look at the white orbs and the it's beautiful. We're like do 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 do. Do, 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 do. What a beautiful sunrise. My world, my word. And then we walk away from the sunrise and that sun does look way too close. We should make that smaller. If it were that big in the sky, we would all be dead. Mind you, if the planets were this small, we would all be dead. Okay. Okay. This is doable. Okay. So I'm going to do two things really quick. While that thing still thinks. We're going to go to this. We're going to size 15. And we're going to go to world, planet. We're going to do 4,200. Save. Now, let's do this. Okay, now we're in a forest, and we're appropriately sized for said forest. Oh, I swear they're hovering. Are they hovering? I can see under it. It's got to be hovering, but when I get to it, it's like, no, you're not hovering. Why would you think you were hovering? I don't think it changed my speed, so now it looks like I'm going way faster. I definitely will not be able to load this into a web browser with this many assets, which is going to suck. Okay. Wants texture next to itself, and each kit ships exactly that. Textures, color, to hold on. What in the? Okay, hold on. Split the trees folder and run in. All four are different files. I checksummed them. Okay. Don't know what that means. Hard references to texture, color mapping, relative themselves. But you organized by type, trees, buildings, other, and each type folder is actually a mix of kits. E.g., your tree has tree high, stones, or a mini forest, but the pine trunk rocks from your graveyard kit hold one color map, so no single texture is right for the mixed folder. That's why they're blank. One folder per kit, each with its own color map. Just add under kit. Okay, that's pretty complex. I still don't understand why there's no. Okay. Okay. No. We're gonna call it for now. I will see if I can figure that out, and we'll let you guys know next week how it went. Yeah, that looks cool. That looks really cool, except that sun looks lame. That looks sick, though. It's like the Death Star, but better. That's a bold statement, but how freaking cool is that? Like, the Death Star was a mega structure, but it was a baby mega structure. This thing, that's a mega structure. It's a mega structure. Put it in perspective, the Earth is a very tiny dot at the tip of the mouse. Can't even see it. The moon and or the Death Star, even tinier dot, proportionally small. That is just, I don't know. It's cool. It's cool. I like the scale. I like the stuff. It's hard to fathom. Here's one thing I can't wrap my head around yet is like each one of these tiny little panels on top of this would be like the size of the Earth. Trying to wrap your head around just how much is happening on this thing is insane. Also, wrapping your head around on just how much of a genocide this dude's about to commit. Mind you, their whole thing is genocide, but he's about to kill all of them. It is a horrendous thing. But you know, desperate times and whatnot, I guess. Oh, I wonder if I can animate it too. So as you start to overload it and it gets hotter, it starts venting out stuff from the top and bottom of it. Like it's the backup fail-safe systems that we're about to overload. Yeah, we'll figure something out. It'll be good. Okay, well, that's going to be it for this live stream. We went from a weird robot in space to a cooler weird robot in space with actual dark skies, some better textures, some trees showing up, a full new animated bot rig that still looks kind of janky, but we're gonna see what we can do about that. No, it might be down to the wire on this one. Not gonna lie to you, this might be tricky. But that's gonna do it for now. I will go work on this in my free time. I got to get back to work, but great chatting with y'all. Great doing the thing, and I will see you guys next week. We will see if I succeeded or failed, because at this point, I think failure is somewhat likely. But I'm gonna try. On top of everything, my kids are sick, so I've been working and taking care of kids and like nothing else all week. So maybe they'll be better because I think they're coming out of it. Knock on wood. If they don't come out of it, I will absolutely fail. I will not have time to do this. I will be going dad all the time and then work all of the other time, and I will just not have time to do this. If the kids are feeling better, then I mean, like I can still hang out with them and code a lot of this because there's a difference between being dad and being super dad. Like dad dealing with puke and poop and whatever else. And again, wife's pregnant. She would, and she feels terrible. And I keep telling her to not feel terrible because, you know, she's making a human, but she just can't. She's morning sick. You can't deal with vomiting diarrhea kids when you're that morning sick. Anyways, and that just is what it is. What that means is not just that, but Grammy, my mom, has more than our kids as grandkids that she wants to see, which means she can't come and help because then she'll get infected and infect the other kids. So It's really just me against the illness, and that it again, if the illness cools down, I've got a good chance. If it doesn't, we are hosed from the start. Oh, this is cool. Okay, okay, this wasn't cool before. This is cool now. Now I wonder if I... Oh my gosh, you can see the planets rotating. That is so freaking cool. Okay, should the Death Star be rotating? Is that attached to me or is that attached to the sky? Because theoretically, as I move around the planet, I'm upside down now. So the Death Star should be upside down. Same with the sun. Oh, wow. Yeah, I need a better sun object. I'm just going to make that one myself. I may have one. Oh, I made one years ago, and it was awesome. Oh, that cuts down my art assets by a lot. Just the art assets are going to take some time for this one. And again, if the kids are feeling better, then that's great. And I can even hang out with them and make art assets. Because I'm going to need to finish up some bits. I'm going to need a drone for this guy to fight. Yeah, I'm going to need a few things. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. All right. Well, see you guys next week.